The reason you are denied access to cosmic knowledge is because this deprives you of your ability to realize of the energies and the frequencies that you carry of an unlimited transformative potential. So therefore, it leaves you clueless, in the dark, isolated, and afraid because you don't know where you are and you don't know what you're doing here. They didn't tell you your reasons and purposes for being as Homo luminous. They told you you are Homo sapien. That's why people believe the man up in the sky. Come on, folks. The man upstairs, there's no man. God is not a man, first off, and there is no upstairs. It's everywhere. Everything, not just human beings. So we have to come correct with this. Because after all, human beings are the youngest species introduced to this planet. So you have to analyze the situation as it is. This is the reason why they denied you access to cosmic knowledge, because this deprives you of your ability to think for yourself. So therefore, they do your thinking for you, aka your belief system. This is why you embrace religion, which is an emotional crutch, because you're emotionally paralyzed. This is how it works. Give you an example. Science. Science gives you detailed descriptions, explanations, and definitions of things that it had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the creation of. Because this, what you call a universe, erroneously, and you refer to it as outer space when it's actually inner space, has been around long before the inception of the species that is pontificating and preaching its didactic edification, meaning that's, telling you what it is. It has no idea what it is. It has a very, very keen penchant for taking its superfluously convoluted nomenclature and superimposing it over these things that it had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the creation of. And you can clearly see the monumentally unfathomable discrepancies that it leaves in its wake. If you extrapolate the information that we have in juxtaposition to the age of the Earth, which is no age because it's a hologram, you clearly see it's nonsense. Like the oldest religion, Hinduism, 4,500 years old. The King James Version of the Bible, 1611. The Hebrew Bible, with its beautiful story of the firmament. This is a flat earth with a glass bubble. Well, that goes out the window on several accounts simply because of the fact that this earth is struck by over 17,000 meteorites every year. Look up Meteor Crater in Arizona. It's 600 feet deep, 3/4 of a mile wide, and the rise on it is almost 200 feet. That means the object that struck the earth is so massive and so powerful that if there was a glass bubble, it would have shattered. And we're supposed to be underwater, by the way. How is a ball of fire staying lit, fully submerged underwater? Where is our weather coming from? Where's the wind coming from? How come the oxygen or the air has not been used up if we're in a sealed glass bubble? I mean, I can go on. All of the exhaust plumes that you have, fires, car exhaust, where would it vent? It would stay stuck inside the bubble. Essentially, what they're saying is this is like a snow globe without the water. This is what I'm saying. This is the reason why they denied you access to your cosmic knowledge, because they've deprived you of your own sense of individuality, your own sense of purpose, which would allow you to connect to your higher self and realize that all of this stuff is lunacy that you've been fed. Everybody, they believe what they're told. Because when you come here, they keep you as a blank slate and they deliberately write on that slate. You're like a lump, flaccid, mound of clay that they shape and contour to assume a specific form. And that form, of course, is to be compliant. Absolutely. That's why you have been denied this cosmic knowledge when you came here, because it doesn't serve a purpose as of a system that's trying to control you, to inform you of who you really are, because then you become an individual against a system of conformity and assimilation. So you clearly see what's going on, because people can't think for themselves, unfortunately. That's why you have people on TikTok glued to their phone. They believe everything that they see through these videos. That's just nothing but Chinese mind control. Social media platforms are nothing but database collection points for three-letter agencies. This is common knowledge. But unfortunately, common knowledge isn't so common anymore, just like common sense. It's a sad state of affairs that we find ourselves here, but this is all done by design. I saw this 40 years ago. I remember when I was going to buy a used car in the 80s, and we made a bid on the car, and we got it. So what happened was the individual had to send something. They requested a delivery, and it had to be sent through Federal Express. Now, back in the 80s, they actually pronounced full, complete sentences and words. There was no abbreviations. There was no internet for us. Nothing like that. We actually spoke clear, concise, colloquial English, and the conversations were not media-based. It was generally conversations of substance, geopolitical situations, whatever it was, the economic climate, what have you. But nonetheless, I remember the man clearly saying, he says, okay, give me a minute and I'll FedEx it to you. I was like, FedEx, what is that? He said, you've never heard of FedEx before? I was like, no, what is that? Federal Express. I was like, but why do you say FedEx? Oh, it's just faster. I was like, I knew right away, right there. In that moment, I said, whatever is behind this is up to something. And then I saw more and more of it, more prevalent as time goes on. And then, of course, with, into the 90s and the early 2000s, here we go. Email replacing regular mail. People, they don't have conversations in person anymore. It was over the phone, and then even more impersonal was text messages. And then it became no more full and complete sentences. It just became abbreviations. And then it'll be clicks and whistles. And then you'll just be sitting still, while AI makes you obsolete and then extinct. You can clearly see what's going on. That's the agenda. They want to get the population down from 9 billion to 2 billion. That's what they want to do because it's an more easily controllable amount that they can take full advantage of. 9 billion is too much for them to control. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this is the reason why you were denied access to your cosmic knowledge, and this is why you're deprived your ability to utilize your unlimited transformative potential as an esoteric alchemist, capable of manifesting greatness and miracles anytime, anywhere. That's why you're looking at the video going, what's this guy talking about? Because if they would have informed you from the time that you came here again, past life experience is deja vu, by the way. Again, I say, because there's many, many revolutions before you evolve and ascend to fourth dimensional consciousness and beyond. If they were to have informed you of who and what you are exactly as a cosmic being, you wouldn't be questioning anything. I'm saying you wouldn't even embrace religion. Religion is just nothing but mind control, crowd control, and manipulation. That's all it's ever been. It's the world's oldest form of propaganda, the written and the spoken word. Before the advent of technological achievements, cutting-edge technology existed. They didn't have these cell phones. Well, they did, but they just didn't want to use them. It would have been too much of a shock for humanity to receive such technologies of an extraterrestrial nature back then. But your cell phone is not cutting edge. Your cell phone is probably hundreds of years old, probably thousands, if not even millions, because this is extraterrestrial technology. It's reverse engineering. This is exactly what it is. There's nothing cutting edge about it. As a matter of fact, Bluetooth was invented in the 1930s. That's what they tell you it was invented, but of course it's much earlier than that. But anyway, this is the reason why you were denied this access to your cosmic knowledge, because, it deprives you of your ability to realize what you carry. You're not consciously aware of it. So therefore, you don't realize it. So therefore, you don't even know what you have and who you are and what you can do with it. So you just trot along in life doing what you're told and believing what you hear as the truth. You see how it always works for their benefit, to their advantage? It always works out like that for them. It's all done by design like that. Just know that you're loved by Source, man. You are Source. I'm also making a point in my videos to not travel down these roads anymore because they get very boring. That's why people think conspiracy theorists and such and so forth. But you should really reword that. When you hear the term, which is a moniker, by the way, when you hear the moniker conspiracy theorist, you should actually register that as a soothsayer. Sooth meaning truth, because when people are telling you the truth, it seems odd, alien, extraneous, and irrelevant because you've been trained to recognize only what the system tells you as the narrative of all things universal being the reality that you experience. Because that's why they say this is the only life there is. It's not true. None of the things that they've told you are true. And that leaves you feeling violated because now you know that your entire life is built of nothing but a series and sequence of lies. And that you feel, used and manipulated exactly what you have been from the beginning. Like me. Now that I'm realizing all of these things, and I'm like, oh my God, my whole life was a lie. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, all of that. Then cartoons was all conditioning me to be desensitized and violent. Everything. G.I. Joe was equipping me to be, war, which feeds their system. When I was a kid, we had Rock'em Sock'em robots. One robot was red, the other one was blue. Republican, Democrat, you see? Red versus blue, even though they're two wings of the same bird. It's just an all-encompassing, immersive experience that you are submerged in, that they don't want you to ever break the surface and breathe. So it is, but breathe, man, because it's an illusionary ocean. It doesn't exist. But anyway, You can easily debunk any of the stories. Like example, the firmament in the Hebrew Bible. Again, just look up Meteor Crater or Barringer Crater in Arizona. That object was so massive it would have, if there was a glass bubble, forget about it. Or just look up the Tunguska event in Russia, 1908. That was an even larger object that came from space. I mean, the object that hit, I think it's in the Gulf of New Mexico. You can clearly see it. It was supposed to be what threw the ash up into the air and knocked the sun out and caused the dinosaurs to go extinct. It's all nonsense. But we get hit with asteroids every 500,000 years, and we get hit with meteorites like over 17,000 a year, and these are sizable objects. So, they're coming from what you call outer space. So there is no veil separating the metaphysical from the physical. There is no glass shield or glass dome that is keeping us dry. Because where's our rain coming from, and our wind and our weather? I mean, I've already done a ton of videos on it. It just everybody has to think for themselves, and unfortunately, you've been denied access to proactive autonomous intelligence because the moment you got here, man, they made sure to put their hands on you. That's for sure, and stamp you and give you a barcode and make sure you're obedient and you're implanted with belief systems and unconscious, and self-conscious and inhibitions and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, afraid to be yourself, afraid to be different, afraid to express your individuality and to just be unlike everybody else, because it is your fear of being unlike anybody else that causes you to be liked by everybody else. You see? So when you can get to that point where I am, that you just don't concern yourself with what people think about you because they can't even think for themselves, man, you're in a sweet spot, and it's just up from there. Anyway, peace.